I am going to make you a bet that the next time you get a window seat on a plane, you're going to think of this next story, and you're going to think of the guest.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes.
¡Ay! ¡Regresar! Calmunarela, me cansé de llevar eso. Cáelo, cherro, que chuli. Cáelo, cherro. Cáelo.
As officers tried to control the situation, they had to shut down business.
I think just based on the video, it's great that we have notification.
Loki filter or cloaking.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes.
All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. How is everybody? And can you hear me okay? Let me make sure my settings are good. Go. Perfect. All right. Adjust this a little bit. All right. I thought we'd change it up today since it's Monday. Have a relaxing show. So there's been a couple of things going on. There was a sighting. This family was flying and they were looking out the window and filming and caught something flying by. And anyway, it was on News Nation. Whatever the object is, it's cylinder shape. It looks real. Doesn't look like it's been tampered with or photoshopped in any way. So we'll go over that. And almost a year ago to date, on April 30th, was the Las Vegas incident. For those that don't know that, we'll cover that as well. But that is where there was a family that had called 911 that reported that there was like 9 to 10 foot tall aliens in their backyard. It was pretty wild. And there happened to be officers that were called to that place, but they were at another house responding to a call, and that is when there was something in the sky going by that they had seen. And so then they got the call to go over and check on this family that's reporting aliens, and it's kind of hilarious. But anyway, they also even have footage of them when they were checking the backyard. It's pretty interesting. I can't believe I didn't miss that. Wait, what? You can hear me, right? Oh, I thought D said can't hear you. Okay, good deal. All right, just making sure. All right, guys. But yeah, pretty interesting. So we'll go over both of those, but as always, we always like to get back by featuring the missing. We also are going to be going out. Well, actually, I'll talk about it here in just a minute. But this was a request sent in by a viewer. This is Shayna Fenman. I hope I pronounced that right. She is 35 years old. A friend emailed me. I guess she went to school with with Shayna. And so she is 35 years old, brown hair, green eyes, 5'4". Let me zoom that in a little bit. And looks like she went missing out of Peach Springs, Silicon. Is it Seligman? I probably butchered that, but Arizona. Her car, dog, camping gear, wallet. So let's see. I'm reading the notes here. She went missing on March 9th of this year. So what is that? That puts us at almost 2 months, just about. And it says that let's see. At 5:30, was walking in the woods, about halfway between Peach Springs and Seligman, which I probably butchered, Arizona. Her car, dog, camping gear, wallet were all left behind. Shayna has been living on a 40-acre property about halfway between that area. She was last seen wearing sweatpants and athletic-type shorts over them, hoodie, and green hiking boots. There's a $1,500 reward for information. Actually, I think that's gone up as well. I think that reward has gone up since then. But if you have any information, I'll have to look up where that's at. But you can call 1-800-932-3232. And I'm sorry if I butchered that really bad. But here, this is Shayna Fenman, 35 years old, missing out of Arizona. And I will continue to feature her, and I'll have to look up that area and put up a map so kind of get a better idea where she went missing. And so many people go missing out of Arizona. It seems like it's a black hole out there. It's kind of scary. And let's see, just looking at chat. And then, so real quick, before we get to the UFO stuff, our trip coming up this Thursday, so 3 days from now, we will be leaving. So I'll probably have a video tomorrow. I'm going to do some stuff for the members and Patreons, and then do a live Wednesday, and then I may do a surprise live when we're out there. But we're going to be out there Thursday and Friday, and we're going to be looking for Gwen Brunel. So any support, donations, PayPal, Venmo will go towards the search. We got our brand new drone that we used in the previous search for Aiden Clune, and we're going to be using that with Gwen Brunel. She went missing out of Jordan Valley, Oregon. We've kind of covered her story, but yep, that's our next mission, and I wouldn't be able to go out searching for the missing if it wasn't for you guys. So please hit the like button, subscribe. All just the little things help support this channel. And we don't just cover true crime and the mystery, we also go out and help people. So, and again, that's all thanks to you guys. Let's see. Okay, just checking chat here. Make sure. Good to see you, Joan. Can't stay long. Relative's birthday dinner. Right on. Appreciate you showing up, June. No, I hope you have a wonderful dinner. So let's get into this. So I played a little highlight video at the beginning here. Let me get rid of that real quick, and we'll go to the first report with the little with the family that was taking a flight and had captured something on their phone, and this looks pretty good.
I bet that the next time you get a window seat on a plane, you're going to think of this next story, and you're going to think of the guest who is.
Let me know how the volume
is.
Next
story. Michelle Reyes was flying over New York City with her daughter, and she was sitting by a window. When she did what a lot of us do, we take pictures out the window. Nice video of the New York skyline. It's an amazing view. But what Michelle did not expect to see was a cylinder-shaped object zipping across her line of sight near LaGuardia Airport. Was it a bug inside the plane, maybe?
Certainly not a bug.
She played the video back to look, and no, it was not a bug. Whatever it was definitely outside the plane, and it was flying on its own, and it was really, really fast. Michelle Reyes joins me now exclusively, and I want to welcome back.
And we'll slow
Ben
it down
Hansen
as
from
well.
UFO Witness on Discovery Plus as well. Michelle, thank
That
you
looks
so much
real.
for being here. First of all, wow, that was pretty alarming stuff. What did you do with the video, and did you reach out to authorities to share it with them?
Thank you for having me. And when I realized that I had something like this on the video, the first thing I did was I emailed the FAA to let them know what I saw, and maybe it was a safety hazard. I reached out to them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't heard back from them. They didn't acknowledge my email. And then I sent it to Enigma Labs, and
that's kind of scary, though, that the FAA or whatever didn't respond back, because if that is just some object out in the sky, I mean, look how close that came to the aircraft. I mean, if that hit the aircraft, that could have been fatal. we know just birds going into, into certain things will take down a plane.
The National UFO Database.
And any response?
Enigma Labs was the only one who responded to me.
So
That's
your
how I got in
dad
contact.
apparently.
We know what you guys think in the chat.
And
what that
as
is.
I understand, your dad is a former Navy guy, so you were able to share with him as well. What did he say?
I showed it to him first, and he honestly had no idea what it was either. He had no idea. He was just as baffled as I was.
Did you guys settle on the fact that it maybe was a drone? It was going awfully fast to be a drone, but was that the best?
Now, this is the thing. It could literally be just an object. It could be like a balloon that deflated and is just kind of, and it would look like it's flying fast because I wish I had more time to snag. So there's this channel, and I can't remember their name. But anyway, they do debunking. They're really good with video editing and stuff. They're really amazing. They do special effects and stuff as good as Hollywood. It's really cool. It's an amazing channel. And they look at UFO footage and stuff. They've even talked about this footage that I've got here kind of lined up, the Tic Tac, footage and stuff. And they kind of give their views on what they believe it is. But they explain that no matter what the object is, because the plane is going so fast, it doesn't matter what that object's doing, even if it's just stationary. When you're going whatever miles an hour in a plane, it's going to just zip by. So it's going to look like it's going fast the opposite way. And that's just the effect of, your perspective. But if it is traveling the opposite way, even just slow, it's going to look just even that much faster. But even if it's stationary, it'll appear as if it's zipping by. But that's just because you're going, the opposite direction. But still, that it is a cylinder shape. It doesn't look like edited footage. Looks unique. Let me know what you guys think. They start to mention drone. Now, I don't think it would be. Again, I've used drones. I'm not an expert at a drone, but drones. I don't think what planes fly. 15,000 feet, 18,000 feet, right? Something like that. And the drones that we can get cannot go that high. So I would lean more towards if it wasn't a UFO or aliens, maybe a deflated balloon or something. But again, it could be an alien or UFO or whatever.
Yes.
He thought it may be a drone, but he didn't think that it should be where it was, that close to the aircraft. So he really didn't have an answer for me.
Interesting is that Tic Tac shape.
As I was. He's seen a lot of things, and he couldn't give me an answer. But if he had to guess, he would have said drone.
So it's a good thing Ben Hansen is here.
Is it 45,000 feet?
You host a show called UFO Witness. What do you think about this Tic Tac video, Ben?
This was incredible,
Yeah,
honestly,
right,
because it took a while just for us to get in touch with Michelle. It wasn't for her posting it on the app. Someone had borrowed, stole it from her social media and posted it as if they were her friend.
Alex, good to see you.
So anyway, so they have the expert come on, so I kind of cut that short. But I thought that was kind of interesting because that footage doesn't look like it's.
Did you guys settle on the fact that it maybe was a drone?
Certainly doesn't look like it's been fabricated. That looks real. I'll play it without the. It goes by real quick.
Was it a bug inside the plane, maybe?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, though. So, so there's that story, and then again, like I said, if you guys remember, I think we covered it once on this channel. It was a pretty big deal last year. And on April 30th of last year was the Las Vegas incident where, what I said earlier, where there was some kind of meteorite or UFO, whatever, that went through the sky. And the officers that had to respond to the 911 call, they were at a different house, and they actually captured it on their body cam. And I think one of the deputies had seen it. And then, of course, then they had to go respond to the 911 call, where they're claiming that there's 8 to 10 foot aliens in the backyard, which, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of interesting. So anyway, they're reporting new activity, which is kind of interesting. It's almost on the anniversary. So I'll play that part a little bit. And then there's some footage that I had never seen before, and it's actually of the family, and it's from the incident of last year where they go to investigate the backyard, and there's something that's caught on the camera, which I thought was really interesting. So we'll definitely play that.
Strange activity in and around the home. What is going on here?
Right. The story goes that just about a year ago, the Kenmore family saw these mysterious, unidentifiable creatures in their backyard right here behind me, right? They said that they were 10-foot tall creatures, that they were standing there looking at them. They could see them breathing. Angel says that he was actually growling at him, freaking them out so much that they actually called 911. Well,
it was the streak seen across the sky, now seen around the world. This, as our 8 News Now investigators confirm, Metro actually set up cameras at this home where a family called 911 claiming to see aliens in their backyard.
It was real. The American Meteor Society says witnesses reported seeing it all across the West, from northeastern Utah to Southern California. Another Las Vegas resident sent us a video of the same object recorded on her home camera.
Investigation by Nexstar station KLAS.
As the story of the Las Vegas incident spread across newscasts and social media, one of NASA's planetary defense officers weighed in to say it was likely a small meteor that fell to Earth hundreds of miles away from Las Vegas. Police videos obtained by 8 News Now indicate Metro officers were among the witnesses.
One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
The appearance of the meteor seemingly triggered the events that...
I mean, that definitely looks like a meteor. I mean, we've seen tons of videos, and that has that little streak. Certainly not a falling star. It's definitely entering the atmosphere and...
followed. A frightened family called 911 and told police they had 10-foot tall alien beings in their backyard. Officers responded to the home minutes later, interviewed the witnesses, canvassed the area, and cautiously inspected the backyard to look for intruders. Up on News Nation that he spent days staking out the house to see what, if anything, unfolded. What about those reports that Metro installed a special surveillance camera atop the house?
Yeah, they installed cameras, and that was real. They even have a report of that. That is what's really kind of eerie. The fact that they would put those cameras up. I mean, and there's like tons of them. I know this is not the best view. You guys probably can barely see it. But yeah, they put those up after this supposed incident happened last year, which is kind of wild. And then, like I said, we're going to recap what happened to him last year and show the footage that I've never played before on this channel, which is kind of interesting because there's supposedly something that you can see on the footage, and then they kind of break it down. And then we'll get into the story, what they're claiming now, which is kind of interesting. Wallflower, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. Of course, any donations that will go towards our trip coming Thursday. Thank you so much, Wallflower. Yes, possibly military, maybe weather balloon. Yeah, it's certainly possible. I definitely think, I based my channel, the reason why it's called Monsters Under Our Bed, for anybody that hasn't heard this story, pretty quick, but my earliest memory, literally my earliest memory of the youngest, when I was like 4, is I went into my parents' bedroom. My dad was at work. My mom was downstairs in the kitchen, and so it's a townhome, so it's 2 floors, and so I'm upstairs. She's downstairs in the kitchen, and I, for whatever reason, I looked under their bed, and I'll never forget it. It's one of my most vivid memories and my earliest memory that I have. and I just saw this figure under the bed, just a shadow. Looked human, but it was just complete shadow, and it kind of like waved at me. And yeah, that freaked the living shnikes out of me, and I'll never forget it. And it almost looked like it was wearing a hat, and it was just like it was laying under the bed, and I just kind of peered under, and then it just kind of like waved at me. Could it be my imagination? Sure. But the one thing is I remember talking to my parents, or especially my mom later on. She told me like weird things happened at that particular apartment, or townhome or whatever. And like I said, she's not a big, believer in that stuff, but she said, yeah, there were some weird things that happened there, and there was some few other things that I do kind of semi-recall happening there that was weird, but that was definitely my earliest memory, and that was so weird. Anyway, back to this story.
Presumably to watch for intruders, human or otherwise, or overzealous media. Turns out that's true as well. Metro confirmed as much in a statement to 8 News Now's David Charnes. The system stayed on the roof for days. What about the Ring camera video with the weird noise? The main witness, Angel, intimated to us the video was recorded by one of his neighbors, and the audio was from the April 30th UFO crash. It wasn't. The security camera video was recorded in mid-April, according to the man who first posted the clip. He doesn't want his name used, but says the recording was from a fireball that passed over his home in the southwestern part of the valley 2 weeks prior to the alleged alien encounter. The family declined to be interviewed by us, but members have spoken elsewhere and stick to their claims of seeing aliens in the backyard. Dozens of people on social media have analyzed and dissected the images with various claims of aliens spotted in the shadows.
Yeah, shadow people. Yeah.
Here's the video of them checking the backyard.
So this is the video. I never saw this, and I guess this really, Angel is clickbaiting. Maybe, now, Nadia, this is the one thing they say is like, they say, oh, he could have, because this video got like tons of views and stuff, and he never made like a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel that I know of except for like this video. But yeah, could they be making it up? Sure, it's possible. But yeah, this is kind of interesting. I'd never seen this, which is kind of odd because this, it was so big and everybody was talking about it last year. But here's the video, and it kind of reminds me of the Peru aliens. Not as intense, of course, where there's like a village with guns and shooting and stuff like that. But all of these guys are armed. Just kind of pay attention. But I think each person is armed with a
look at the alien hiding.
Yeah, it was.
Hora me que cantis París le gallenge a la chorsi, hora. Tosi. ¡Ay! ¡Permisar! Calmundarela, me cancines var eso. Kailo, cherro, que chidi Kailo, cherro. Kailo. Uy, chetar. Chidi kao. Chidi kao.
I don't know if anybody can translate that. I don't think we're going to break it down because I know we have some people that could translate that. But, I mean, here, he's strapped right there. We know the kid in the back, which I think his name's Angel. He's got his gun out. He got these 3 guys, and they're, I mean, could it be acting? Sure, but...
Kai, Cherro. Diles. Firmisale, sale.
Be interesting to know what they're saying.
Firmisar, porque no, Cherro, que Calmundarela me.
Diles, eso no son los míos, viendo para acá.
Kai.
Ande el camión, los colchadicas del camión. Ellos segundo.
Oh, they're saying there's something back here somewhere. But there's also something they actually caught on this video. Supposedly, we're going to look at it here. It's kind of interesting.
Now I edited it to see it. Clear, and you can see a figure hiding behind the forklift.
Yeah, you can see like a little head. It could be anything, of course, but
Dile que a casa del hombre indique. Viene un chavo, o sea, pecucharico se dalo. Vaya, me dígale completico. Costelo de que acá, dile que acá callale, yo muy pelón, sí, pelón, varón, pelón. En chalo te dos dijeron de concha, que la de que chucabao.
It's one thing to squint at a fuzzy video on YouTube and then decide space aliens.
It says, yep, they're refusing to speak. That means it's a hoax. They made it up. Maybe. It could be.
Do or do not exist. And it's another thing entirely to subject those sightings to the same kind of scientific rigor that puts, say, killers in prison. Scott Roeder is that kind of skeptic. He is an evidence expert and crime scene reconstructionist with 33 years of experience and 1,500 cases to his credit. He is the founder of the Evidence Room, a group that assembles specialists in forensic animation, 3D modeling, and motion graphics. He took a close look at the video that was recorded by that family in Las Vegas, and he applied his technology to try to debunk it. Here he is on his YouTube channel, Crime Scene, discussing what he calls the entity in the family's backyard.
Here is the part, and this is kind of interesting looking at this. So he does a reenactment, and then I blow it up for you guys to see it better. Actually, let me move this over a little bit. This is kind of interesting.
And take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not.
Keep your
and in this
focus
case,
right here.
We can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video, is there in the physical reality.
And I'll slow it down.
The Kenmore family is also there.
That is
Like,
creepy
this is
as
so
hell.
critical,
Not gonna lie.
because you can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side of the screen. And clearly it is behind there. So this isn't just like a head floating in space. This is a head of that is somehow that does not have full opacity, that the opacity of the head,
you guys see
of
it?
the shadow is only at about 33% opacity, versus a normal shadow, which would be at 100% opacity, or an object in the screen, which is at 100%. And this isn't anything that you did. It's just what you were able to determine, that this shadow being, or this being in the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow or smoky filter or cloaking technique, is not only cloaking itself from the people there, but cloaking itself from the camera itself, in that it's minimizing our ability to identify pixels inside of that shadow.
So here, I blow it up right here. So just keep your focus on here. It's interesting. You see it? If that was if that's some kind of video editing, it's pretty darn good. I don't see anywhere. I mean, I'm not an expert in that stuff, but I don't see where there's kind of where they overlaid it, except it wouldn't be hard to run a different video. They call them plates, different plates. So you'd have the video, and then you would have this little shadow thing, and then you use some kind of opacity and kind of run it over it. But it looks pretty real. Is it a shadow from just one of these guys? But the only thing is it looks like there's two light sources, one that's coming from behind them, and then clearly there's a light source that's got to be up above because this guy has a shadow going behind him as well to the side. So, as you can see, the cameraman's got his shadow, so clearly there's a light source behind him. And then there's a light source that's got to be up above somewhere to the right because they also cast a shadow that goes behind them. If there was a light source to the left going up, that would kind of make sense. As he moves in, there would be kind of a shadow, but there should be a shadow. If it was coming from one of these guys, you should have a shadow starting to go up the fence and appear, but that's not the case. So that's really weird. But again, then of course, it's standing right next to him. Why didn't they say anything? Or, see anything, not say anything. Or either or, but sorry. Let me go back to the some reason.
Cloaking itself.
Lower. But right here, as you guys can see, it'll kind of pop over. But notice there's no shadow that's casting up on the fence as this thing comes in. Either it's edited really well, man, that is so weird. I mean, that is really weird. Hopefully you guys can see it. Have you heard that? Have you heard how the village in Peru is doing with those miners and jetpacks? Fire and Ice, that's a good question. I haven't checked up on that. I need to. Yeah, it kind of went quiet. I know there was kind of like little reports here and there, like stuff going on, not in that same village, but just in South America in general. Then they had the whole thing where Mexico revealed that alien that they had, which that didn't look too real to me. I still think it's a possibility, something's beyond our understanding that's out there. This footage, I mean, this is interesting. I said I'm an amateur video editor, and I can't see anything that sticks out that it's fabricated, but that doesn't mean it's not. It's certainly not somebody's shadow, because it should cast onto the fence. If it's a body, it should cast up here as it comes in. Unless there's somebody, I don't know. It's weird to have it line up with the fence so perfectly. To do that with just having somebody, make like a puppet shadow, off camera. It's too perfect for it to just be lined up with the fence where it's not hanging over or whatever. So that's either photoshopped or, some kind of editing, or there's something there. Sirius Black, good to see you. You got to renew your membership again. Yeah, if you do, I appreciate it. And good to see you. Magic says, cover the Brianna Matland case. I'll write it down. Magic. I've got a lot going on this week because I'll be going out searching for somebody, so I'm going to be kind of tied up. But I'll write it down. I can't promise anything, but I'll check it out. Nadia, I love Mothman. That movie, Mothman, was it Mothman Prophecies? Wasn't the best movie,
I'm joined now by UFO expert Ben Hansen. He's a former federal agent and now
we're going to move
witness
to what happened this year.
Ben, it's great to have you on the program tonight again. So I mean, your reaction to what, Scott Roeder did with his analytics, the shadow that you saw that was behind the fence as well as way above the fence. I guess your reaction to all of that.
Keep the mod, man.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I'm excited because it took a while, I think, for anyone to get a copy of the raw video. I don't personally have it, but I'm glad that Scott has done this. I don't detect anything overt as a red flag that I would say that made me suspect that it was edited. So I concur with him on that. And it also appears that there is some sort of shadow that's present behind the slats of the fence, which he pointed out.
Yeah, he says you can kind of see it come in through the fence, but I can't. I've been looking. I wish I had more time, because if that was the case, that would be really interesting.
And then you have kind of a head, it looks like, at the top of the fence. Where I kind of feel it might be a jump is people online then started to say, well, this is evidence of a cloaking creature of some sort. There is a lot going on in the video. If you look, there's 2 or 3 different light sources. And anytime you have that happening, you can have a lot of shadows from different angles. So unfortunately, we'll never have the same exact circumstance where we can go back and test it to see what might be causing a shadow effect.
There is this one aspect of it, and I'm not sure if our producers can just let the video go, but when they walk in past the gate, something startles them and they freak out. I mean, for lack of a better description, it's not. There's no way this is acting. Actors don't do it this well. Something startles them.
Yeah, because they didn't overreact. That's the thing that kind of makes it look like real. Is they didn't overreact, like oh god, and they're running
and they spin around and they kind of run out, and the video kind of goes, as it would if you were terrified.
Yeah, and the way this guy, actually, now that I kind of look at it, of course, we'll get up to the new stuff as well, but now kind of looking at these two and the way they kind of jump back, not that it's overtly acting style, but let's see if I can get the bigger video. Where is it? They jump back right here.
Is not only cloaking itself from the...
Sorry, I'm trying to find the one. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I just want to play this one more time here. Just going to watch these two in the front. Kind of interesting. Anyway,
we'll never be looking at something towards the back of the yard and something spooks them, where I feel that it might be a little bit of, I don't know, call it forensic gymnastics, is to say that it was caused by this thing off to the right, because as you can see right there, that shadow appears on top of the fence, but he's not looking to the right. If this was some sort of entity that was 3 feet away from him, I think that's what would really scare anybody. So that's where you have these theories that people are saying, well,
God, yeah, could you imagine if that is real and that happened?
Seen, but only the video did up.
Alex, good to see you.
I would have to change
I have to ask you
pair of shorts after that. Okay, so here's the recent thing that happened this year at the same place. Now they're reporting kind of poltergeist activity. Gigi, good to see you. I love the Mothman. Yeah, it was a good movie for its time, for kind of a thriller. I don't know if it... More of a thriller, suspense / horror, I guess. I thought it was a good movie.
What are you making? Because there's something really interesting about this. And it's that last night it was reported there was more strange activity in and around the home. What is going on here?
Right. The story goes that just about a year ago, the Kenmore family saw these mysterious, unidentifiable creatures in their backyard right here behind me, right? They said that they were 10-foot-tall creatures, that they were standing there looking at them. They could see them breathing. Angel says that he was actually growling at him, freaking them out so much that they actually called 911. Well, it turns out that these unidentified, unexplainable phenomenon didn't just stop at that night. Angel went into great detail with me during our one-on-one conversation about other paranormal activity that's been happening, but this time inside of their house. It goes beyond just seeing shadows and hearing whispers. These are really freaky things that he told me during our exclusive conversation. Take a listen. You mentioned paranormal.
So I'm just going to pause it real quick and then we'll play this interview. I just wanted to get to Jennifer B. I'm enjoying this evening's topic. Yeah, I thought I would change. I was going to cover Sebastian Rogers, but, you know, I know there was a little picture that went out that looked like Sebastian, but I think both father, you know, or the real father, Seth, that came out and said, I don't think that's him. And really, other than that, there just hasn't been anything going on, like actually just, you know, so unless there's actually something that goes down, whether they actually find something of his or find him, you know, we'll of course cover it. But I don't like covering that kind of stuff where it's just, you know, if there's not any substance there, nothing wrong with, you know, covering what is there, but I just prefer if there's actually some kind of, you know, evidence or whatever. But anyway, thank you so much, Jennifer B. Thanks for your thanks for your work helping others. Certainly my honor and pleasure, and I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So here's the interview with Angel. Now he's kind of claiming more kind of poltergeist stuff.
Normal activity. What exactly did you see?
Well, I was in another room. My brother called me, and there was a upside down cross, and there was a Jesus statue in it. They ripped Jesus out of it. They threw him like across the room, and it was floating upside down.
Are you saying floating in the air?
Yeah, like in the air. It was floating upside down.
What did you do? I mean, did you go pick it up? Did you knock it down? Like how?
No, I didn't do nothing. I was just sitting there. I was crazy. I was like, what?
But how did it come down? It's not still floating right now, is it?
No, it came down. So we got closer to it and then it dropped.
It fell to the ground. A crucifix floating in the air, upside down. The Jesus on the crucifix had been ripped off.
Yeah.
And it was floating.
Yep.
And you can say definitively, without lies, that that is what you saw.
Yes. Swear to God, that's what I saw.
Okay, and what about the Bible? What did you tell me about the Bible?
Oh yeah, the Bible. So I was chilling normal.
One thing I want to ask is, where's his phone? You know, we always have our phones like within reach in our pockets. Like, where's your phone, buddy? Get this on camera. We want to, you know, see this. But I think it's a little interesting.
So just a Bible, just going like this, flipping the pages. But it was like steady, like it wasn't because of the air. It was steady, like somebody was holding it. As soon as I got close to it, it dropped again. It just dropped again.
This is inside your house, not outdoors. No
this
wind,
is inside, yeah.
No wind factor, but the page is steadily turning on a Bible.
Yeah.
And you have the same justification for that as well, demonic presence?
Yeah, I can see demonic presence, yeah.
The pages of the Bible were moving on their own and an actual crucifix hanging upside down?
Yeah. So, you know, we had a couple priests come over to the house, pray over the house, and everything seems to be normal again.
Are you connecting all these things together, everything you saw in your backyard, to the things you've experienced over these past few months?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I believe, Angel. And yeah, this is the same house that, you know, the Vegas house where the whole incident happened last year. And instead of 8 to 10 foot aliens, now they've got poltergeist activity. So it begs the question, you know, if the slim possibility that there is something going on, was it maybe not aliens, but just some kind of, you know, demonic power, you know, going on. So he goes on to explain what they do.
To be honest, yeah, I think so. I still have an explanation of what it is. You know, still pretty weird.
Sounds like telling the truth.
And,
it could be.
I have no clue what it is.
What did the priest say when they actually came to your house?
They're saying that it might be fallen angels, like demons or fallen angels, something like that.
Fallen angels inside your home.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
How does it make you feel about living here still?
Right now I feel good, you know. There's a lot of time priests came over and...
Oh no, I'd be moving. I would be moving. You got crucifixes floating upside down. The Bible's floating. I'm good. I'm out. Where's the nearest hotel?
Whatever happened on last year May, that was pretty scary, man. I was pretty traumatized and stuff like that.
What does that look like to you? You said you're traumatized. I don't want to make you relive it.
Yeah.
What is that like?
Pretty bad, man. You can't sleep, you know. Not to sound like a crybaby, but you know, you cry most of the time when you think about it. You get flashbacks. You know, not a good experience.
With all of the parents.
So I'll be honest, like for him to come forward and do this interview, because you know, of course they got a lot of crap, you know, saying that they were faking it, and so for him to, you know, do another interview like this, I mean, that adds a little bit of, you know, I don't know if credibility is the word, but you know, to be able to do this, you know.
Paranormal activity happening inside your house. Are you thinking about moving away?
Oh yeah, soon I'm gonna move away from this house.
Oh yeah, so
Everybody,
they're moving.
or just you?
Everybody.
They're out of here.
You guys are done with this place.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people who believe that your family just made this whole thing up to try to get attention?
They can believe whatever they want, you know. I'm not doing it for. If I did it for fame, I would be on YouTube and stuff like that, doing more videos. But I don't care.
Which is true. He does have a point. I would say that is the most valid argument. Because those original videos did get a lot of views, and they could have continued to just bank on that, and they haven't. So that's a valid argument.
Went on TikTok and YouTube, made my story.
And while we certainly have Angel's story to go off of, other people here in this neighborhood have also filled in some of the gaps and some of the things that they found freaky about that night that those two unidentified beings were seen by the Kenmore family in their backyard. For example, a guy who lives just right down the street just saw us out here on the side of the road and began talking to us, and he remembered that night as well. He said that for some bizarre reason, his TV all of a sudden stopped working at that time, that his surveillance cameras no longer were working, his lights were shutting off. So put all of this together, the Kenmore sighting, what the neighbors are reporting, not to mention what those Las Vegas police officers saw on those body-worn cameras, that flash of light streak across the sky 39 minutes before that 911 call. It really is an unexplainable phenomenon.
Well, by now you've probably seen this. The video.
Yeah, so I mean, that is pretty wild. Nice says happy movie too. Yeah. Yeah, he says he cries, not all the time, but yeah, something like that, about the thing, but, Kel says maybe show people this is Vegas, right? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I'm sure most of you know, Vegas, near Vegas, is the, infamous Area 51, and my grandpa used to live in Henderson, which is right next to Vegas. And then not far from that is the Nellis Air Force Base, which is, of course, more or less Area 51 and out that way. And, of course, that's where they supposedly have alien crafts. Allegedly. We don't know. But and then just one more thing to kind of end on here. Let me just get caught up in chat. Hoaxers and mistaken people feel the urge to get others to believe too. Yeah, possibly. But it's interesting. Like I said, you know, with the sighting, if you missed it earlier, there was the family flying in a plane. That video definitely looks real. Now, it could have been just a piece of debris. If you missed that, I'll play that at the beginning, or play that one more time. But then we had that Miami incident. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It was really wild. We have more context to what actually happened, but trying to think when that was. That was this year or the end of last year.
It was on your social media.
But here's some footage of that if you guys haven't seen it. It was really wild. It was in Miami, Bayside.
Feed. Teens spreading panic at Bayside Marketplace. Groups fighting, lighting fireworks, and damaging stores. Amanda Placencia is live in downtown Miami with more. And Amanda, several teens have been arrested.
Yes, Juan, 4 teens have been arrested between the ages of 14 and 16 years old after wreaking havoc last night here in Bayside. And we've learned that fireworks, which were mistaken for gunshots, are what led to that major police response. A massive police response at Bayside on New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, okay.
Videos posted all over social media Monday night show dozens of police officers swarming the area.
I don't know if you guys saw this footage. I mean, that was wild. And early reports said that it was UFO sightings.
After the call initially came in as an active shooter. According to arrest reports, police say a large group of teens started causing a riot inside the mall and were lighting loud fireworks. They were entering businesses possibly armed with sticks, causing damage inside stores, and just creating panic for people inside Bayside.
So yeah, apparently I think it was like 4 teenagers started lighting fireworks off in the mall. And of course people thought those were gunshots, and you know, with all the terrible shootings going on, yeah, people freaked out and they thought it was an active shooter in the mall. But some people think that this was a cover-up and this was that there was alien sightings here.
As officers tried to control the situation, they had to shut down Biscayne Boulevard for 6 blocks until the all-clear was given. We are not reporting their names because they are minors, but 4 teens between the ages of 14 and 16 years old were arrested during the mayhem. Now that it's calm a day later, tourists and those who live in South Florida weighed in on what happened.
A little bit worried about the security in the area. I have a baby, as you can see, so I think it could be like dangerous for the families that visiting around here.
But I heard what happened, I think, last night or New Year's in the downtown. So, yeah, I guess that was like a very dangerous thing.
Later in the night, a group of 50 teens also caused a disturbance at a nearby 7-Eleven.
But yeah, it was wild. I don't know if you guys remember that. Yeah, because that was New Year's Day. But man, just seeing the early footage of all those cops arriving, and they hadn't had the full story at the time. And so people, of course, went online speculating that there was, you know, some kind of UFO or alien sightings. And it turns out that it was just these 4 kids that were lighting off fireworks in the mall. Or was it? I don't know. Maybe that's a cover up and it was some kind of aliens. But if you missed the first part, this family here, let's play this one more time.
We, you know, take pictures out the window. Nice video of the New York skyline. It's an amazing view. But what Michelle did not expect to see was a cylinder-shaped object zipping across her line of sight near LaGuardia Airport. Was it a bug inside the plane, maybe? Well, she played the video back to look, and no, it was not a bug. Whatever it was definitely outside the plane, and it was flying on its own, and it was really, really fast. Michelle Reyes joins me now exclusively, and I want to welcome back Ben Hansen from UFO Witness on Discovery Plus as well. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. First of all, wow, that was pretty alarming stuff. What did you do with the video, and did you reach out to authorities to share it with them?
Thank you for having me. And when I realized that I had something like this on the video, the first thing I did was I emailed the FAA to let them know what I saw, and maybe it was a safety hazard. I reached out to...
Hey, hell yeah, it's a safety hazard. Yeah, I don't know if that would be a drone, at least not like a commercial, like, you know, something that, you know, you could get at the store or, you know, Amazon. This would, yeah, they don't go at that distance, not the ones that you just, you know, the public can get. Yeah, because they have a certain limit, because they, you know, most drones nowadays, they have built-in, you know, GPS, and they know where the flight zones are. And even when we were searching out for Dylan rounds, we were near kind of a military base, and certain areas were kind of like no-fly zones, or if you flew, you know, you could only go so high. And so most drones wouldn't get up to that certainly wouldn't get up to that altitude. Now, private and military, certainly.
Unfortunately,
I'm sure
I
they
haven't
have
heard
that
back from them.
capability.
They didn't acknowledge my email. And then I sent it to Enigma Labs.
Good to see you,
and
Jason.
The National UFO
Dang
Database.
aliens. Yeah. We thought we'd change it
And
up
any
today.
response?
But that is pretty
Enigma
interesting.
Labs was the only one who responded to me.
As I said, I'll leave it there. Like I said, I don't think it's a drone. As I said, a drone, that's because it doesn't look like they're at their full altitude. They're maybe 15, 20,000 feet, somewhere in there. I mean, it looks kind of metallic. It looks fairly big. I mean, a lot of times it's, balloons are one of the biggest things that are reported as UFOs. With the shape like this, it's, I mean, it could have deflated and it's just got the cylinder shape to it. I don't know. That's weird. Let me know what you think in chat, but it is interesting. What's that? Aliens fly by Earth and roll their windows up. But I mean, I've certainly seen things in the sky. I'm sure many in the chat as well that you couldn't explain. And yeah, I'm still trying to think anything else. It's just kind of interesting that this is kind of like the Tic Tac shape. I wish I would have gotten that one channel's video where they break down the Tic Tac videos and kind of explain what they believe they're actually seeing. For those that don't think aliens are real, they kind of, I wouldn't say debunk it, but give their best interpretation of it because they're just, they're well versed in video editing and stuff like that. But anyway, let's see here. Caroline, did the right cover for the UFO sighting? Nope. Where did these people get ideas living indoors for too many generations? Yeah, but it was pretty wild. I mean, when that report with the thing that happened in Miami, it was going wild. And then, because I don't think they had the full idea of what actually happened until like weeks later, until the arrest. Yeah, that's what I explained in earlier, Caroline. This thing could have been stationary, and yeah, when you're flying at that speed, even if it's sitting still, it's gonna look like it's flying, just as fast. But it's a pimp with the blimp. Maybe. Let's see. Drones go wherever the pilot wants them to. No, not a. Depends the drones. The drones that the public can get, they max out. Not at 15,000 feet. Well under that. Yeah, because they're built in to have limits. But again, a private, commercial, government, that's a whole different ballpark. For sure. Alien trash bag. I like that. Yeah. No, they did ask the FAA. She sent a message because, yeah, whatever that is, I mean, look how close that came to the plane. I mean, that could have been detrimental to the plane and the passengers, depending, especially if that was like some kind of solid material. I mean, if it was a balloon, it'd probably be nothing. But yeah, if that was some kind of solid material, they're pretty lucky. Some drones can go very far, but like, again, it depends on where you're flying. Like I said, drones have built-in GPS, and they know, like, most of your, good drones, they they'll know if you're in like I said, when we were out for doing rounds, they'll know when you're in an area that's like you're near a military base, and they're it'll let you know, saying like, hey, you're in a military base zone. You can only fly at this altitude, and you cannot push that drone. That drone will not go any higher because it knows. So, and I think they built that stuff a long time ago, knowing, because they don't want people just flying drones up in the sky and dropping down planes left and right. So they definitely have limitations. But anyway, I thought it would be kind of interesting to cover something different for a Monday, just have a little fun, I said I'm a bit skeptic, but I do believe could be something out there, things that we don't understand. I certainly think there's definitely a possibility. Yeah, there you go, Motogo. Yeah, yep, yeah. Drones are amazing. They really are. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Walker, is the military, that's a whole different ballpark. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, this looks like New York, because they're I forget where they were heading, but yeah, that does look like New York. But kind of interesting. That'd be kind of fun, something different to do. But good to see everybody. Jason Watts, especially good to see you. I hope whatever you're working on. I know Jason Watts, he's a PI, and of course he's helped search for the missing. I think you were working on the Jason Laundrie case. If you ever want to come on the show, to spread awareness for a case, I'd love to have you on. My viewers love when I have Jason Watts on. He always brings some exciting, statistics and stuff like that. So, Jason, hit me up anytime, buddy, if there's something I can do on my platform to help. But just one more time, I just want to say, guys, probably have a video tomorrow. I'm going to work on some Patreon and member stuff for tomorrow. And again, that's another great way to support the channel, Patreon. And then Wednesday, we'll do a live. Of course, we'll go back to true crime. And then Thursday is when we go out searching for Gwen Burnell. So we'll be gone Thursday, Friday. So no show Friday, but we may have maybe a surprise live when we're out there at some point, maybe. Tala says, these UFOs never pass my neighborhood. I've had a few little things that have happened here in Utah, but you never know. Is it a shooting star? Is it flares? Who knows? Good to see you. Oh, that's a good point, Don Twister. You know what? Don makes a great point. First of all, a police officer catches this thing flying on his body cam. Minutes later, the call comes in from these folks who saw creatures. Now tell me, when did these people have time to fix a video? That's a decent argument, Don. I do respect that. Although we don't know all the context to everything, but I would say that's a decent argument. Chris, the object in the picture is not a meteor. Oh, you don't think it's a meteor? I think it was a meteor. But it was kind of interesting, the color of it. That was, which is this one right here. Let's see. Kind of interesting.
Across newscasts and social media, one of NASA's.
Wait, kind of had that green bluish hue. That was kind of interesting for sure. I've always believed it's spy operations. Ooh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, there was that one. Remember that Chinese balloon? When was that? Was that last year that was going on? That we finally had to shoot down. Supposedly the balloon got out of control and ended up somehow miraculously flying over the United States on accident. So yeah. He says, I agree with Chris. There are things out there that we don't know, but not this angel stuff. Because I live, we have the Skinwalker Ranch, and man, what they did at Skinwalker Ranch, before all the History Channel stuff, but, where a billionaire bought the property and actually brought out, what was it called? NIDS? I forget the acronym for it, but, a billionaire bringing out, and this was literally the most, in the world, the most researched as far as paranormal, UFO, whatever you want to call it, ever done in the entire world. And that happened here in this state on Skinwalker Ranch, where they did, experiments and stuff. Yeah, I think it was called NIDS, which is pretty wild. So, oh yeah, that's right. They did shoot it down on the coast of Myrtle Beach. That's right. Yeah, after it pretty much flew over most of the states, yeah. Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button. I appreciate everybody in here. Just kind of entertaining, trying something different or doing something different today. And again, we'll be back on with True Crime Stuff Wednesday. And the Richard Allen trial, we are going to be going full throttle on that. So expect a lot of live shows. I'm not going to be doing like 8-hour live shows, but we may I'll have to kind of figure out, when's a good time to go live. But we'll probably be going live 6 times a week. For the trial. So that's why we're going out this week. That way I can take the rest of May off. And then we'll go back out searching in June. So you too, Alan. Great actors in Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of the history. I think it's History Channel. I've watched a little bit of it. It is. I still think it's fascinating. Just the fact of that they had brought out so much resources to, look into that place. I think that shows that there was some funky stuff going on out there, for sure. And then let's not forget the Phoenix, Arizona incident. With the triangle. That was wild. The Phoenix Lights, one of the biggest, most mass reported sightings ever. And they claimed it was flares. I don't think those were flares. But that was something wild. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love you guys so much. Again, we'll be back onto the true crime stuff. But I thought we'd have a little bit of fun this Monday, I'm sorry. And anyway, I got a new pet outro, which I need to add. Let's see, how am I going to do? Maybe I'll just play it. Oh, I know how I can do it. Okay. So I did get my new pet outro, so I'm going to play that for you guys. When is Richard Allen's trial? So, great question. It is. So it starts May 13th is the jury. selection, and then they said Thursday, the 16th, is when they get sworn in. Opening statements is going to be May 17th, that Friday. So, of course, we are going to be going live. This is a case we've been covering for a long time now, and we're hoping, I know there's people on both sides, and I respect, people's opinions, and but at the end of the day, I really hope they got it right and the justice for Abby and Libby comes. So, and I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so that's the schedule. I think so. 3 days they're going to be doing jury selection. The 4th day they're going to swear them in, and then Friday, boom, opening statements. So I think it'll be exciting. The movie Communion is a scary UFO movie. I'll have to check that out. I like UFO movies. I do. Like I said, I like to keep an open mind. Talia B, thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting the channel. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much. And Caroline, good to see you. Member for 22 months. 2 more months, and then you get the 24. Hello from South Gardner, Maine, USA. Arizona lights, not flares. Yeah, I did certainly not flares. Yeah, whatever happened in Phoenix, those were not flares, because flares dip down and die out. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was certainly wild. So, I like Christopher Walken. I'll have to check that out. All right, guys, I got a new pet outro. Let's see. Let me get that ready first. Should be right there, but it's not. Where did I save it? Did it go into this one? All right, I'm looking for my pet outro. Hold on. Pet outro 18. There it is. Oh, sitting in New Delphi. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, we'll talk about Richard Allen when we get to that point. But thank you, mods, for showing up. You guys are awesome. I love you guys so much. We'll see you guys back here Wednesday. And then again, I'll be working on some stuff for the Patreons and members for tomorrow. So I hope you guys have the rest of a great day, good night, or morning, depending on where you're at. And we will see you guys very soon. I'm going to play the outro.
Call the sleepers from your